Animals which are more active at night than during the daytime are called nocturnal animals. They have adaptations that suit their nighttime activities. Nocturnal animals like owls, loris, lemurs and cats have large and sensitive eyes that help them see in darkness. Some have very good hearing, while others have a well-developed sense of smell. India is renowned for its majestic wildlife, and studies of its natural history are abounding. But the bats of India are less frequently mentioned, and very little is known about them. Bats are generally weak and feeble creatures and are not very popular mammals. They are viewed with fear and revulsion for habits such as occupying dark places for roosting. Every evening, against the backdrop of a setting sun, scores of bats emerge out in search of food. Most of the bats emerge from pre-existing structures such as trees, caves, crevices and unused buildings. Bats have been around for at least 50 million years and in that time have evolved to take advantage of a great variety of habitats. The more than 1,100 species live on all continents except Antarctica and occur everywhere except in polar regions and in extreme deserts.
In bats, mainly there are two types. One is known as Megachiroptera and the other one is known as Microchiroptera. The word itself tells you about the size. Mega bats are larger in size and micro bats are smaller in size. Mega bats usually feed upon fruits. They feed fruits like mango, papaya, grapes, guava, custard apple, figs, Singapore cherry, guava, etc. In addition to fruits, mega bats also feed upon nectar and leaves. So, megabats are usually called frugivorous bats. Microbats mainly feed upon insects. In addition to insects, a few species of microbats feed upon other organisms known as frogs, mice, geckos, spiders, fish. So, they are known as carnivorous bats.
Indian flying foxes, Pteropus giganteus. Bats of the genus Pteropus are the largest fruit bats in the world. They are commonly known as flying foxes. They are found widely throughout Asia and Australia. Usually, a colony comprises of hundreds to several thousands of individuals found in well-established trees. Each animal weighs about 800 grams and has a wingspan of about 1.5 meters. All species of flying foxes only feed on nectar, flower, pollen, leaves and fruit, which explain their limited tropical distribution. They do not possess echolocation. Instead, smell and eyesight are very well developed in flying foxes. Naturally, large fruit bats are good pollinators and seed dispersers since they can carry large fruits up to 250 grams while foraging and drop the seeds during the foraging flights. Their feeding ranges can reach up to 40 miles. During migration, this species travels up to 250 kilometers. The Indian flying fox is one of India's 12 species of flying foxes. Even though they are still relatively common throughout the country, the populations are declining. Many species of Pteropus are threatened today with extinction, and in particular in the Pacific region, a number of species have died out as a result of overharvesting for human consumption. At night, bats swoop through the air, snatching up hundreds of insects and other small animals. But during the day, they hardly move at all. Instead, bats pass the time hanging upside down from a secluded spot such as the roof of a cave, the underside of a bridge or the inside of a hollowed-out tree. There are different reasons why bats roost this way.
Hanging upside down gives them another advantage. See, when they start flying, they need to take off. Right. And birds generally take off from the ground. So they fly from the ground against the gravity. To fly against the gravity, they have powerful chest muscles or the breast muscles, and they fly against the gravity. But bats, since they are very weak, what they do is, when they hang upside down from the roof, they just fall off from the roof and then they take off. So for taking off, they need not spend much energy. Hanging upside down is an added advantage for them, and it also gives protection against predators.
Dog-faced fruit bats, Rosetus leschanolti. It is a medium-sized fruit bat weighing about 100 grams, which has a distribution from India to Sri Lanka, Pakistan and China. They are often extremely noisy and live in colonies from tens to several thousand individuals. This is an echolocating fruit bat and emits clicks by moving its tongue against the roof of its mouth. Echolocation clicks range from 6 to 12 kHz, with most energy at around 18 kHz. Probably this species is important for seed dispersal and can carry fruits of 40% of its body weight. This species is nowadays very much disturbed by human interference and renovation of old buildings. The huge population of this species plays an important role in pollination and seed dispersal of many wild trees in plains and in rainforests. Short-nosed fruit bat, Cynopterus sphinx. These are called tent-making bats, since bats chew the fronds of the palms or branches of trees to construct fairly simple tents for roosting purpose. These bats are also known to construct tents by closely interweaving the leaves and twigs of creeping vines which cover buildings. This bat species forms a social structure called harem during breeding season, where a single male lives with a group of females consisting of about 5 to 20 bats. The male constructs tents in tree foliages and attracts females to form colonies and reproduce. Indian false vampire bats, Megaderma lyra. False vampire bat, Megaderma lyra, is a carnivorous bat, just as the South American spectral bat. This species is found in South and Southeast Asia. They hunt using a method called gleaning in a variety of different habitats.
This is a medium-sized bat weighing about 40 grams. It's a carnivorous bat, mainly feeding on mouse, field mouse and also larger insects. They help in controlling the pest insects. So the wings are made up of their fingers. So this is the thumb, and also other 4 fingers are covered with the membranes. So this is the echolocating carnivorous bats. It has small eyes and larger ear pinna. It also has a nose leaf. They produce the ultrasonic sound using their mouth as well as through the nose. They receive the reflected sounds by their nose leaf as well as the ear pinna.
It is a good friend of farmers because a small population of 100 bats of Megaderma lyra can eat up to 200 field mice in a given night. Thus, this species controls rodent pest in agricultural fields. Leaf-nosed bat, Hipposideros spioris. Schneider's leaf-nosed bat, Hipposideros spioris, is a species of bat in the family Hipposideridae.
Above the nose, we can see the leaf-like structure, which is used for receiving the ultrasonic sounds. Normally, the microcarpentine bats has small eyes and larger ear pinna. So this is a female bat species. It is pregnant. We can sense the pregnancy by palpation of the stomach region.
It is found in India and Sri Lanka. This species is found in dry plains to forested hillsides, in caves, caverns, underground cellars, old forts, palaces, under bridges, old disused buildings, temples and tunnels. It roosts in colonies ranging from a few to several hundreds of individuals. In India, individuals do not usually congregate in clusters and tend to be scattered. It has a slow and low flight and hunts for insects close to the ground. The diet consists of coleopterans, dipterans, mosquitoes and other insects, including agricultural pests and pests of stored grain.
When they live inside the caves, the cave environment poses a unique problem. There are no windows or doors for the bats to know when is day and when is night. So they have to come out of the caves only during night time. And for this, the bats have a biological clock that tells the bat when to come out of the caves. So every day, precisely, bats come out of the cave exactly at the same time. But throughout the year, the sunrise and sunset timings vary, but bats come out of the caves exactly at the same time. But when they come near the entrance, if it is too bright, they stay inside the cave. This behavior is called light sampling. They sample the light, and if it is dark enough, they fly out of the cave. They inform when they sample. One particular bat initially comes out, samples the light, and if it is dark, it goes back and inform other members of its species that it has the dark has come. Let us all fly. And all the bats now, they come out at the same time and then fly out of the caves. You can see this is called as emergence of bats. You can see the bat emergence from the cave mouth. All the bats coming out of the cave at the same time like a dark cloud during the evening time.
Indian pygmy bat, Pipistrellus tenuis. This species is commonly called Indian pygmy bat because of its smallest size, which can be easily accommodated in a small matchbox. This bat weighs only about 3 grams and the newborn babies less than half a gram. It roosts in hollows of trees, holes, crevices and cracks in walls and ceilings of old buildings, dead leaves of trees. It breeds throughout the year, giving birth to twins each time. A single adult female gives birth to twins 3 times a year, and thus it can produce 6 infants per year. This is the highest reproduction rate reported among bat species. It is an early flyer with erratic flight as the evening progresses. This is also the last bat to return to its day roost in the morning, while compared to other local bat species. While foraging, this bat consumes a large number of agricultural pests and mosquitoes. The place bats live in is called its roost, which provides them safety and optimal microclimate. Every day, a particular bat occupies a specific and permanent place inside the roost for resting purpose. Generally, bats do not disturb and fight with their inmates for roosting places. For this reason, they exhibit several behavioral mechanisms for identifying and roosting in a permanent spot.
If an individual lives inside a cave, for example, if there are about 600 individuals live inside a cave, each individual occupies a particular place as the roosting site. That means they are able to identify their own personal space and occupies that particular site throughout its life. That means they exhibit a very interesting component known as spatial memory. By means of depositing its own urine, they are able to relocate their own space after returning to the caves. And each individual remarkably protect its own personal space, and it will not allow other individuals to occupy its own personal space. And our experiments clearly confirmed that this urine marking is the major factor for the spatial memory. So when we thoroughly washed the urine marking to a selected roosting sites, the individuals which returned to the cave after foraging, there were some confusion among the individuals, and it took about 3 hours to relocate their own personal spaces. Usually, when a bat returns to the cave, it will reach its own personal space within 5 minutes. But when we thoroughly washed the urine markings, there were some aggressive behavior, and it took about 3 hours to reorganize its own roosting pattern.
Echolocation. Nocturnal animals have special adaptations that help them survive in the dark. Especially, bats use echolocation, in which the animal emits a high-pitched sound which bounces off objects. The sound is then received by the animal, giving it information about the object's shape, direction, distance, and texture.
These echolocating bats use high-frequency sounds, and they are able to distinguish a thin wire as thin as a human hair, and they avoid any obstacle that comes in their way. Different bats have different frequencies, what is called as echolocation frequency, which is basically the frequency with which they emit the sound and hear the echo and navigate in nature. For example, you have a bat called Hippocedrus spioris, which uses 135 kilohertz as a echolocation frequency, and you have another bat which is called an evening bat, Pipistrellus species, which have a frequency ranging from 35 to 55 kilohertz. So different species have different frequencies and they do not overlap. One can very easily say that by recording the echolocation frequency, one will be able to identify the species of bat in that area.
Environmental experts say bats are indicators of biodiversity and healthy ecosystems. Bat populations have declined alarmingly in recent decades. Despite intensified conservation efforts, over half of all bat species are now classified by the International Union for Conservation as threatened or near threatened. To create an awareness on this particular and important animal will encourage people across the world to get involved in bat conservation efforts.